Hello, everyone, and welcome back to what should be episode 19 of the 107 podcast with myself, Jacob, and my co-host Ash, who is
Hello.
this week sporting a lovely Charles Leclerc hat, which is very appropriate for this week. And that is because we are back in Austria, where the previous winner last year was Charles Leclerc. A little bit of a masterclass there, wasn't it, to be honest with you?
That's why I picked it. When I saw my row of caps, I was like, "Oh, Chucky Leclerc,
Chuck Leclerc.
Chuck Leclerc won there last year.
Chuck that on, why not?
Let's have some happy Ferrari memories."
Yeah. I can't remember the last time there were any happy Ferrari memories.
Was that his last win?
No, that was not Charles's last win. No way. I'm going to Google that. But
I think it might be his last win. Sainz won Silverstone.
Yeah.
And then didn't they turn down the engine and basically Verstappen won the rest of the season?
That can't be his last win. I'm so sorry. This has gone completely sidetracked for the immediate.
Pull it up. I think it might be his last win.
I'm trying to get the. Oh God, it is. It is. It's his last win. Oh no. Oh, poor man. He retired in France, but obviously that was the famous no.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Oh God, I'm sorry, Charles. Anyway, welcome to this week on the podcast where we celebrated the death of Charles Leclerc's career. And so no, I'm kidding. So obviously the last time he won, it's been a year since he last won. Quite sad. But
special for us though.
Pretty special for us, yes, because we were there. And this week we were going to essentially run through our summer holiday last year, let's say. Because essentially what we did was we drove from Denmark.
So I drove from England, yep.
Yeah, we
drove from Denmark, where we met in Germany.
Yes, met up in Germany in
tooted around some roads, not so famous roads in Germany, and headed down to Austria.
Yeah, so we met up in Cologne, stayed there for a day or two, for the day I think, wasn't it?
Just the one day.
And then we moved down through Germany towards Stuttgart with a cheeky little stop in the Nürburgring. Which was
where someone
brilliant.
Lost his Nürburgring virginity.
I did, yes.
And has the sticker to prove it.
I do. I have a lovely little sticker on the back of my Subi. So drove my very, very, very powerful car, which definitely didn't get overtaken the entire time.
It doesn't matter, mate. It's not about the car.
We had style points.
You need to share that picture of you driving. Was it around the carousel?
The carousel, and all you can see is both of us smiling. It's brilliant.
It was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
You know what? I never realized how loud these I say standard in inverted commas, inverted quotes.
Inverted quotes, yeah.
Right, these Porsche 911s are. You don't hear them at full chat on a road.
No,
but you hear them at full chat on the Nürburgring, and they sound.
Yeah,
wow.
6,000 plus RPM. Insane.
Was that AMG GT, the green one?
The green one, yeah.
That sounded amazing.
Unbelievable. The GTR that came past us, the R35, like the newer one, that was also pretty special as well.
And there was what Ferrari was it? Was it a 488 or something like that?
I want to say yes.
N straight or something. That sounded
insane.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
well.
But literally everything passed us, but it was an absolute experience, and one I definitely don't regret, especially because we didn't crash. So there's that too.
You didn't crash. You were driving.
Yeah, I was driving.
So you did really well. So you took some curbs.
We took some curbs. I actually have some wheel damage on my wheel purely from hitting the curb. I don't exactly know how it happened, but there we go. Didn't go off once, mostly because the car's not powerful enough to go off. It was an experience of a lifetime. I remember going around that, and I was checking this the other day. So when you go around the Nürburgring, for those of you who don't know, they have photographers dotted around the track, and they can take photos, and it's all uploaded to this website. And so I went on maybe a week or two later, and there was 10 photos of the car going around, and I bought 3 of them. They're maybe €10 each to buy them, but it depends via photographer. I went on there last week before, and they're allowed 25 photos. So there's even more photos on there now, which was just quite nice to see. So if you have been to the Nürburgring and you have photos of your car, but maybe it was from a couple of months ago or whatever, go and check again because there might be even more photos on there.
I'd also like to say, I don't know what the reputation is of car meets or track days or anything like that. This was the first time I've actually been to a track, but everyone is super friendly, happy to talk about their cars. We even met one guy who offered us his car to go around the Nürburgring as well, which we politely declined because it's somebody else's car. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Do you want to tell them what car it was as well? Because this just would have ended badly.
No, he didn't offer us that car.
No. But what car did he offer us?
A Porsche Cayman.
It was a Porsche Cayman. And I just looked at Ash.
It wasn't just like a Renault Sport Megane.
It wasn't like
great cars.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, do you want to take my Porsche Cayman round? It's specifically designed to really go around the Nürburgring. It was like, as much as I would love to, I'm not taking somebody else's car with no insurance.
No.
And my lack of driving skills around the Nürburgring. So we politely declined, but he was very nice.
Yeah, it was insane. But yeah, that's the second time that I've been to the Nürburgring. I went once before last year for the year before for the Belgian Grand Prix, which I will talk about fully in some of the podcasts when we go to the Belgian Grand Prix.
When he's got some medication to calm him down.
Honest to God, it was horrific. But I've been there twice now, and everyone is always super lovely there. They're always really, really nice. Don't get me wrong, there are idiots who want to do burnouts and go drifting and stuff like that, or be dicks. But generally, everyone is absolutely lovely. We were able to. There was a whole car park to ourselves where we could take some nice photos of our cars, in front of the very famous Nürburgring red sign where the Grand Prix track is. I want to say it's a little bit away from the main tourist fart entrance. So yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. And
even just the drive down from Denmark and the UK, hitting the autobahns was good fun. I think I got up to 135 miles per hour and then I got scared.
Yeah, which is kind of fair enough.
There's Audis and Mercedes just screaming it down.
Yeah, I think
the SUVs even.
What did I get it up to? Because my car is limited. My car is limited. Okay.
I'm pretty sure you got it up to 130.
I hold on, because I think what it was. I'm just googling it. It was 115 miles an hour. So because I remember specifically, my car is limited to 105 miles per hour technically. However, down a hill, we timed it perfectly, and I managed to get it up to 115.
Speaking of hills, this is a tip to those who are considering a road trip. Jacob found some amazing driving roads.
Oh yeah, we did some driving roads.
Top Gear, where it's going up a mountain and you're going left and right and round the U-turns, and you see these videos and you're like, wow, this looks amazing, I'd love to do it, and I would highly recommend doing it.
Oh yeah.
What they don't tell you is about the way down and how hard it is on your brakes and your car overall.
Oh yeah.
Not even just cars like mine. My car's 20 years old, or cars that are not designed for it. We saw a modern day Mercedes with his brakes on fire. Yeah,
it was bad. If you don't look after your car and do engine braking, essentially, you might have some issues, or you would need to have racing brake fluids or 7.1 dot
carbon
brake fluid,
ceramic brakes.
So
because it really does go onto your car.
I'm gonna explain the story of one of these roads where we were coming down and we eventually got to the bottom. And Ash turned around to me and said, he was like, "Oh mate, that road almost killed my car. That was horrific. Blah 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 blah." And he was like, "Oh my brake sensors have gone off because it's gotten so
my
hot."
My brake
right?
sensor melted.
My brake sensor. Oh, is that actually what happened? It melted.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Right. Okay. So, but you have 4 disc brakes that are drilled, correct?
That's correct.
right? And
Yes.
you were complaining, and you were, oh my god, it was awful, right? I did the exact same thing with two front disc brakes that weren't drilled and two drum brakes. So I was in a much worse condition. You just had no idea. You were like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, oh my god, they ruined my car. And I was just sat there going, like, I saw flames.
Yours are actually on fire.
They were
I've got the
literally
videos
on
somewhere.
fire. Yeah, they were bad.
But beautiful roads, like
Oh,
curvy,
unbelievable.
through the
Yeah.
mountains, through the grass and all that. But be wary of the route down. That's
Yeah.
all I shall say.
And also be wary of the route up because my engine's slightly overheated.
So yeah, I enjoyed the route up. That was good because I think I had to stop at one point for you to catch up.
Yeah, at the top, yeah. But I think that was of one of them, I think. But like I think the important thing to remember is that your car at the time was almost 3 times as powerful as mine and also a lot more expensive, whereas mine is like the most base model that you can get of Subarus, whereas yours was like at the time a decently modern BMW. So and I would argue your car is still more modern than mine, even though it's slightly older than mine, I guess. I got excited when I bought my car and I accidentally discovered that there were heated seats. I was like, this is amazing. This is the future.
I cannot live without heated seats now. I just can't.
I've seen in the new Porsches, they have cooled seats.
Yeah, you can get ventilated seats.
How
you can get
cool
massage
is that?
seats.
Yeah, massage seats is old news. That's old news. But cooled seats, that's mad.
Yeah, cooled seats has been around for a while.
Oh, I had no idea. It just shows
how
old I am.
Vibrating seats, so if it thinks you're tired, it vibrates.
Oh, it's just insane. Anyway, so we did a lot of those Alpine roads. I think we did like 3 or 4 that were specifically for like driving Alpine roads and stuff like that. And they were so stunning. There was the one just before we got to the hotel on one of the last nights, which was empty. It was the 2 of us. That was it. Yeah. There was nobody
that the one
else.
By the giant lake?
Yeah, the one by the giant lake. Yeah, that was probably my favourite one because although the going down was a bit shit, the fact that we had the whole road to ourselves was amazing.
I remember exactly, because it was getting dark as we were going down the waterfalls. I mean, I think Austria is a hidden gem.
I personally, and this might be slightly controversial, I think Austria is a lot nicer than Germany.
I think Germany has its Austrian parts with, like, we drove through some fields and stuff that was nice, but Austria was absolutely stunning. And I think once I get a better car in the future, hopefully, touch wood, sooner rather than later, I would love to just go back and do those roads again. But we drove to Spielberg, where we had our Formula One experience, Jacob's first actual Formula One experience.
Yes. It was brilliant. I can't really knock it, to be honest with you. I mean, the only downside for me was the fact that we were quite far away from the track because people had got up at like stupid o'clock in the morning to reserve the best seats, essentially, like stupidly close to the track itself. Other than that, it was brilliant. And we got gassed. We got gassed by Verstappen / McLaren fans.
Let's start at the beginning. So we did general availability from Friday to Sunday, and it had a sprint race, and we saw the Porsche Super Cup and the main race, and lots of going on, which we'll talk about. So we drove from the hotel we're staying. It takes around 45 minutes to an hour to get to said circuit, and which then you're waiting for about 25 to 30 minutes to get a parking space, which is on a field. From there, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to walk wherever your section is
to where we wanted to go. There were 2 general admission zones, and we walked to one of them, which was about an hour away, and it was all uphill.
It's all uphill. And then you get there and you can set up shop wherever you like, essentially on the grassy area. So we had some camping chairs and snacks and stuff like that. But like you said, if you want to be as close to the action as possible, either get a grandstand seat or wake up super early and get yourself by the fences. Austria being the Red Bull home race, there is a lot. I would say 97% of the people there are Max fans, Red Bull fans.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're not going to see a lot of Mercedes caps, Ferraris caps. There are those there. And they love their flares.
It was like at the end of every session. End of every
orange
session.
flares.
Yeah, orange
Orange
flares. It was mad. Don't get me wrong, the atmosphere was great, but like the problem was is that you just couldn't see the track.
No,
Like when
you
they did
couldn't.
this, so like when Max was obviously driving around during his in lap at the end of the Grand Prix, like you couldn't see him because there were so many orange flares.
Well, even at the start, wasn't there some complaints from the drivers
Yeah,
that there's orange smoke at the start of the race and it affected their visibility a little
yeah,
bit?
because
So
I think in your background for podcast listeners, I'm afraid you probably won't be able to see it, but for Ash's video screen background, you can see the edge of turn 1, I believe, over his right shoulder, and the smoke, which you can also see at the tip of his right shoulder, was blowing down the entire pit straight to where turn 1 was. So like the drivers literally couldn't see at points. I also know that during day 2 we were actually stopped and asked whether or not we had flares or anything on us, or whether or not we had any glass as well.
we were asked if we were part of the Max army or something.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
were asked if we were asked if we were part of the Max Verstappen army, because we were, to be fair, we were both wearing Red Bull shirts, like the team shirts, which were I still wear that shirt. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It has like a whole Red Bull on the back as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, we also bought it to fit in.
Oh yeah, to fit in. Yeah, well, I mean, but I almost very nearly on the Sunday wore an illegal combo, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, I very nearly wore a Lewis Hamilton hat and a Max shirt, which obviously at the time I wouldn't have left the circuit whatsoever. That would have been a very bad idea. Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we had the sprint race, which Max won, and we had the main race, which Charles won. We saw the overtake, and we could smell Carlos Sainz's burning car.
Oh, yeah. So, it happened right in front of us, didn't it?
Yep. So for me, now that I've done the race, I've also done grandstand, I'm happy with sitting at home in my cold house with my snacks and watching it. However, if you have not gone to a Formula One race, it is an experience and a half. It genuinely is. You cannot. I think 2 things really popped out for me. One was the actual colors of the car.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was not the biggest fan of the McLaren, but as you said, when you see it in the flesh last year, that orange really, really does pop.
It's gorgeous.
And the Alpine looked really, really nice.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And what you cannot tell is the gradient of the circuit. So, you know, with the Austria, where you have the curve section 3, how that went down. I was like, wow, it actually goes down quite a fair amount, and you can't really tell on the TV. So it really shows you the gradients of the circuit going up, going down.
Well, they built it in the side of a mountain.
Yeah, so it doesn't like, whereas you watch it on TV, it just seems flat. So Red Bull, with it being the Red Bull Ring, they had an air show at the start of the race, which listening
was
to
amazing.
Fighter jets was wow.
Yeah. They were so loud, and they were louder, obviously louder than the cars, but like it reminded me of those like very old like V10, V12s, like they're just incredible noises.
Well, they did that. Remember, they had some of the older Red Bull cars and other cars running down. I think David Coulthard was in one of the RBs.
Yeah, I believe so. And I also, on a slightly different note, they're doing a Red Bull show run in Copenhagen on August 19th this year. Which I will be going to, and I believe David Coulthard will be driving one of the Red Bull cars there.
Oh, nice. I'm hoping it's the blown diffuser one. So I've been to a race in India in 2011 with the blown diffusers, and when I tell you that I went deaf, I was so lucky I had hearing protection, because when I took it off, those cars, wow, I can understand why people who had seen them in like the V10 era. And remember, this was not the V10 cars.
No.
Who had seen the cars in the V10 era were like, it's not the same without the noise. I totally understand where they're coming from. So I know there's news coming out from F1, from Domenicali, about they're working out how to bring the noise back. And I really hope they do, because that's going to really add to the experience of being at a Formula One race live.
Yeah, I really do hope that they do something about it, because it gives, I think a very good example is, I don't know if you saw, but the Tesla Model S Plaid additional version set a Nürburgring record a couple of weeks ago. And I watched the video, and it's just silent. You're just going around, you can hear all the wind noise. It's just silent. There's no soul to the car, I don't think. Whereas if you compare it to like a Porsche that goes around now, it has proper soul to it because there's that like throaty sort of deep grumbly noise that a car, let's be honest, realistically should have. And I think if they were to bring that noise back, it would elevate the whole experience of going to a race. Absolutely,
It absolutely would. It absolutely would.
yeah,
So, but yeah, overall, even though there were some issues, Austria was amazing. It's a great place to go to watch a race. I would
yeah,
highly recommend it.
yeah.
Um,
If you've not been to a race before, the Austrian GP tickets were cheap. The hotel that we stayed in, which was it's a 50 minutes drive away.
but it was a nice
But it
drive.
was a nice drive, and it was a nice hotel. It was like a whole
Very
apartment
nice.
suite. It was really, really nice. But it was also pretty cheap as well. And I think if we wanted to stay closer, we could have done. But it was just more expensive, and yeah, we didn't really mind, to be honest. But I'd recommend that as a good first Grand Prix to go to for sure, because you can get, say for example, if you were to only buy a Sunday ticket, you could easily get there from Vienna. You could fly into Vienna and then get to the track reasonably easily as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and even like I know it was a wait to get in and out, but it's fairly organized and smooth.
Yeah, well, the car park wasn't on the first day. My God, that was horrific. The car park on the first day was a nightmare.
But overall, yeah, it's pretty, and it's free parking.
Oh yeah, well, there was free parking. Yeah,
Silverstone does not offer.
Silverstone does not offer free parking. No. But I don't think I'll be driving to Silverstone. So for those who don't know, I'll be at Silverstone this year. But I won't be driving. I don't think, mostly because I don't have a car and I'm not insured in that country. But I might borrow someone's car to drive up on one of the days, but I'm not entirely sure just yet.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about a European Grand Prix, Austria would definitely be top of the list.
Yeah, it's one of those that I would recommend for sure.
You can make a real trip out of it.
100%. Yeah, like I said, we made a proper road trip out of it. We did Nürburgring and like saw like some beautiful Alpine roads.
BMW Museum,
BMW
Porsche Museum.
Yeah, Porsche Museum as well. And we didn't talk about it, but we'll go back very slightly. But we actually stayed at the Hockenheim ring.
We did, and we saw a M3 track day, BMW M3 track day.
M4. It was the M4, the new M4s. You know, the ugly ones. It was those.
Yeah, the big nostril.
The big nostril ones. Yeah, it was those.
Yeah.
So we saw a track day that they were doing there as well, which was awesome. Although it was a bit annoying because I spoke to one of the hotel staff. We could see them going around from the restaurant that we had like breakfast in at the track, and I was like, is there any way we could literally just for a couple of minutes just step outside and have a better look at the track and like just to watch these cars go around for a couple of minutes? And the woman was like almost annoyed like we'd even asked. She was like, no. And it was like, why can't literally just for 2 minutes just go
there was
out and have
no
a look?
one there.
There's nobody there.
One.
Nothing.
No one.
Which is really, really strange. But it is what it is, really. And I fully understand that, like, we're hotel guests. We didn't pay to, be watching anything that was going on there. And she probably is asked all the time whether or not we can, like people can go in and have a look. But oh well, have a sign up. But yeah, so we did that as well. And then did we do anything else like noteworthy, like that we'd want to mention to?
The Porsche Museum is amazing.
Yes, Porsche Museum was lovely. They had so many heritage cars, including the McLaren driven by Prost with the famous Marlboro livery, and they also had Lewis Hamilton's winning car in the Mercedes Museum.
I was going to say they had the all the trophies that they'd won as well. That you could see. It's like, wow, that's cool.
Absolutely mad.
We did Mercedes-Benz Museum. That's really good.
That was really good.
I would say that. Then the Porsche one, and then BMW.
Well, was last. Yeah, it was not really that great. It was mostly just an advertisement, really. For the cars, which meh.
Yeah, because the Mercedes one's like a spiral, and you start at the top and you spiral down through the history of the cars, and it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, really, really good. I'd recommend the Porsche and the Mercedes one for sure. Not so much the BMW. It was a bit of a waste of time. Or at the very least, if you plan on going, don't plan on spending too long there.
Yeah, I agree.
The pizza over the road isn't too bad though. But yeah, did we want to talk about some of the situations that happened
So
last
there
year?
was two,
Yeah,
one public and one private. So the public one that I'll tell you.
yeah.
The
I'll see where
public
you're going with this.
the public one was obviously all the sexual harassment that
Yes.
happened
So
to
yeah.
the women at the circuit, where they had to actually set up safe spaces,
Mm.
and there was a lot of things on social media happening where like if you feel unsafe, please come here and stuff like that. And I think Mercedes even organized a couple of passes for some people who'd been in a very uncomfortable
Yeah, I
situation. I can't
vaguely
remember.
remember there was one person who had a really horrible experience there, and I think Mercedes brought her into the garage to
Yeah,
make her feel a bit better, obviously, and try not to ruin the experience of being at a Grand Prix and having something horrible happen to you. And I believe she got upgraded to like a grandstand seat so that she was away from the
which,
crowds.
by the way, it was like, we're not saying this is representative of Austrians or Max Verstappen fans
No, not at
or
all.
anything like that. But it's just idiots, regardless of who you support or where you're from. It's just idiots. The second thing was, obviously, I am brown, and I think
Yes.
I saw maybe three other people who I think they were black in the whole of the circuit, right?
Yeah.
And anyone who knows this will know, when you're being looked at for your skin color.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think the first day I was wearing a Lewis Hamilton cap, I believe.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
And you can just tell, and I did feel uncomfortable at points where, like, right, I hope no one decides to get super drunk and and there were some really offensive T-shirts about Hamilton that.
Oh God, yeah, there was some incredible ones. Yeah.
Again, this is not representative of Austrians or Dutch people or Max Verstappen fans. It's just idiots. But it's a shame that it's still happening in this day and age. But I think this year should be a lot better. I think they've learned from last year.
I sure hope so. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully, we don't find out.
Yes,
hopefully we don't find out as in like nothing happens. But I guess we're like, if we hear nothing, we found out that things have changed and hopefully gotten better. That's more what I meant, obviously.
So keep a wary eye, but honestly, it is a great circuit to go to. I would highly recommend it, and you'll have a great time.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Also, Jacob finally felt at home somewhere because he is stupendously tall. So he was around a load of Dutch people, so he's like, "Oh, I'm with my people."
People are a normal height.
He doesn't have to like break his neck to like talk to people.
I'm 6'4.5", and the half counts.
Well, no, because I'm 6 foot and I always look up to you.
You look up to me in many ways. But
okay, very humble Jacob is as well.
But like people are so tall. Like it's mad. And brilliant. Like people are a normal height. I guess like for me, I am a normal height because I live with my height every single day. So like,
it's like in Denmark, so that's normal, right?
Exactly, right. So yeah, but yeah, it was lovely. Anything? One thing I did actually really like about the track itself as well, and like the whole experience is that like there was a little bit of downtime between some of the sessions and stuff like that where we could chill out. The food wasn't outrageously priced either, and that's something which I should genuinely we should actually point out to fans. Is that the food wasn't completely outrageous, which is good. They obviously had a lot of Red Bull knocking around. Unfortunately, we didn't get to try the Red Bull Cola because they kept running out. And I really wanted to try it, but never got around to actually trying it because Red Bull do like a Coke knockoff, I guess, which we never got to try. But it is what it is.
There's also not that much of a queue for food, drink, merchandise.
Food there was at lunch. Other than that, it was fine. And I think that was because I timed going for lunch at the worst possible time. There was also a guy who pushed in front of me, who then pretended not to speak English. When the people who were working at the cart, they saw that he'd very clearly pushed in, and there were two Brits behind me, so we were obviously talking shit about him the entire time. And the people had worked it out and just refused to serve him. Oh, brilliant!
Haraba. How did Alonso say? Karma.
The Karma.
Karma.
Yes. So yeah, absolutely incredible experience. I'd highly recommend it. I think obviously as Ash sort of mentioned, I am a straight white man, so I don't typically experience too many issues going anywhere because I like for some reason.
Well, no, only people do stare at you because you're tall.
Yeah,
so you kind of understand that.
All right, fine. Oh yeah, being tall. Oh, boo-hoo me. But no, I just mean that like obviously my experience might be completely different to like female F1 fans or F1 fans who might look not like the demographic of wherever you're going. So do take it with a pinch of salt, with my opinion. However, I had a great time. And loved it, which is why I'm going again this year to Britain, and next year, if you're on board, Ash, I'm going to Budapest.
I will come to Hungary. Okay?
Yay!
I'm not being general admission.
No. We'll do seats because I think I was on the fence between going to Budapest and going to Great Britain. And there's I think it's like Silver Turn 3 in Budapest have like really, really good seats, and it was like only slightly. I think it was like 300 quid or euros or something like that for like 3 days or whatever it was. So it was reasonably priced for a seat in a pretty good position. So we should get that planned at some point.
Yeah, I'd also say this is not from me, but from a friend. He went to the Singaporean Grand Prix and said it was amazing.
I'd love to do
No
Singapore.
queues anywhere. It's obviously very unique, and it's Singapore. They've got amazing food. So if you're on the fence about Singapore, we should do that one time maybe in the future. Absolutely go. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
I had a friend who went to the Bahrain Grand Prix, and he said he had a great time.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, there we go. The more you know. And obviously the oh my god, it's completely escaped me. But the ladies that we had on a few weeks ago from
IDGAF one.
I give it F1.
Lynette and
Alison, yes, Alison and Lynette. They have obviously been to COTA in Texas, and they absolutely loved it as well. So that's obviously a good recommendation as well, is to go to COTA, especially if you're based in the US. I think they have like 300,000-400,000 people during that weekend as well. So I'm pretty sure we could get hold of a ticket. Like that's a lot of tickets. Anyway. That's pretty much it for the trip, I guess. Like I don't think there was too much else to talk about. On fire breaks, museums. We stayed in a castle the last night as well, but that was nothing. Not really. You got to use your drone. Yeah, got my drone up. Got some lovely drone shots of the castle as well. Nothing else motorsport related though. So I mean, I won't really waste anyone else's time, to be honest with you. It was also quite nice when going back slightly on the Nürburgring, watching like who had brought what to the Nürburgring. For the tourist sessions, and like there was like old BMWs, lots of Porsches,
lots of Porsches,
lots of Porsches,
lots of Porsches, and lots of older BMs.
Old BMs. There was a guy who went round in a clapped out Mark II Golf as well, which was it very clearly looked like it was going to fall apart any second. Hilarious. There
was someone in a Skoda. Was it a Skoda estate, and he let his girlfriend drive? And I remember we saw him before, and he did like that.
Brilliant, absolutely hilarious. Brilliant. A couple of Audis as well, obviously. But yeah, it was good fun. There's a couple of spots that you can pull up and you can watch these cars go round, and it's just a lot of fun. You don't have to pay anything; you just turn up and have a look.
It's definitely worth it. Even if you don't want to drive the track, just watching the cars go round is an experience and a half.
Yep, absolutely. Was there anything else you want to talk about for this road trip bit?
If you're worried about the long drive, genuinely, it's so easy.
Yeah, split it up as well. Do split it up. Have some planned stops and stuff if you're planning on doing.
But it's so easy to just drive, put a podcast on, put some music on, and just cruise away.
If you need a podcast, you could probably go back and listen to a couple of these.
Sneaky little promo.
But yeah, well, I guess that's enough for this sort of.
So if you're thinking about Austria, go.
Yes, go if you can, and you really want to go to a race. Do it.